What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another video here on the channel. And today, of course, we're going to be talking about YouTube again. Didn't expect to be making this video, but then they dropped a new policy change on us because YouTube likes doing this out of the random. YouTube will make these almost, it seems, random policy changes up, and they seem to be based purely just, on instinct. They just come out of nowhere. And they don't really give any warning as to when they're about to happen. They just let you know, oh, hey, by the way, this is what's about to happen. Have fun, dealing with the ramifications of this. You have a couple weeks to prepare, but yeah, if you're in our crosshairs, you pretty much have no chance of really fighting this one. So I want everyone here to say this one with me here, one step forward, two steps backward. One step forward, two steps backward. Because that's what this platform is. We made a video just a couple days ago talking about how they made, such good strides forward with the copyright. And how they made such tremendous strides in benefiting creators with all these changes that they made to the copyright system, how they made it easier to fight manual claims on your videos, how they introduced all these new tools so you could mute all the audio and stuff that got claimed in your videos so you could, realistically fix these problems when people claim your videos, which is something that people have been complaining about for years now. But of course, I gave them something nice. I said something nice about them, and realistically, the entire YouTube community basically said something nice about them. So YouTube said, oh, thank you. Oh, hey, by the way, we got a new policy coming in, and you're not gonna like this one, folks. So a lot of you are aware of the situation that unfolded on Twitter just a few weeks ago regarding Steven Crowder, that pretty much, I guess, incited, a huge debate. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. I don't really like to get too political. He basically called a gay journalist some names, and the journalist took it to heart. He was apparently joking, Steven Crowder was. He said he was joking about it. The journalist got upset about it. He complained to YouTube. YouTube said that they weren't going to take any action against Crowder initially about it. Then apparently they decided to change their mind over a shirt or something that Steven Crowder was selling on a different website, obviously through like Teespring or whatever he was selling through. I don't know, it was a really confusing situation, but I think this is what really kind of incited this rule change. But anyways, YouTube says there's new creator-on-creator harassment rules coming, and basically what that means is that criticism has been silenced on the platform. That's what this means. Now, let me be perfectly clear here. I understand that there's a very specific, brand, I guess, of content on YouTube where they just criticize other channels, and that's fine. I don't really care. I don't really care about the type of content people make on YouTube. It doesn't really matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, as long as they're not, like, breaking the law, I just really don't care. I mean, it's not really any of my business. I just go about my own. I make my own content. I enjoy other people's content, and I go live my own life. I don't really sit around and ponder other people's videos all too much, unless they're doing something really messed up. But there's a specific type of content where they criticize other people. And, it's a decently popular type of content. But of course, there's also a lot of content where people are legitimately getting harassed, where people actually do get harassed due to the content itself. Now, is this popular content necessarily? Not always. Is it more popular than the criticism content? I would say no, but it definitely does exist, at least to some degree on the platform. However, I don't think that it's such a widespread issue that YouTube really needed to take any action on this. That's why I think this comes so far out of left field in reality. And that's why I think Steven Crowder and what happened with him is really the only thing that could spark something like this happening, because, this kind of content isn't really the most, popular type of content in this category, really. So, now YouTube, of course, is denying that this is what caused it, because YouTube never comes out and tells anybody what actually causes them to make any rule changes. That is something YouTube always is 100%, steady about. Whenever YouTube decides that they're going to make a spur-of-the-moment rule change that affects basically the entire platform in some way, because let's be honest, pretty much every rule change does in some way, they never tell anyone the actual reason behind it. They always give some false reason behind it. or if there is a very clear-cut reason behind it, or something that, was in the media that, would give a good reason behind it, they always say, oh, well, that wasn't really the reason. We've been doing this for months now, and we would argue that this is actually the reason, when it's pretty clear to anybody that when you look at the structure of these rule changes, when you look at how quickly they were developed, how bad that they are due to how quickly they were developed, and how quickly they're about to be implemented, that they were developed as a response to this whole Carlos Maza and Steven Crowder thing. I mean, it's apparent to anyone. That's what this is about. Let's be 100% transparent here. This was all over the media. People everywhere were talking about this because apparently YouTube was somehow at fault when these two third parties were arguing on Twitter because YouTube wouldn't completely silence this guy for apparently making jokes. But apparently YouTube is introducing new hate speech rules, and that was in the wake of his complaints, okay? Now that led to a bunch of YouTube channels being demonetized and even more being deleted. But in another update, they have said that they might take action against creators even if they don't violate the community guidelines. So, basically speaking, here's what YouTube is saying. Yeah, even if the creator isn't breaking the rules, even if the creator is not violating what we have set in stone as a violation of our policies, we might punish them. So even if you are theoretically playing by the rules that we have laid out, and you are doing your best to actually adhere to what we're saying, we might punish you, even though you're trying. YouTube's reasoning for this is that if a creator's behavior is deemed to be quote-unquote egregious and quote harms the broader community, YouTube may need to take action against them regardless if whether they've actually broke the rules or not. Okay, doesn't even make sense. I think we can all agree on that. My whole thing is if YouTube thinks that this is so egregious, why not just update the rules so everyone actually is on an equal playing field and we can actually know what's bad and what's not? That's like one of the biggest problems with being on YouTube at the moment is you don't even know what's wrong on the platform. You don't know what you're doing. You have to kind of just figure it out as you're going along. You don't know. You just can't know because, I mean, you just saw it right there. You can be going by the community guidelines and trying your best to behave in a way that even aligns with what YouTube tells you in an outline from the company itself is acceptable. And even then, apparently, they will still take action against you if they don't like it. I mean, at that point, what can you honestly do? What can you honestly do on this platform? Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue what's acceptable and what's not. I mean, who honestly has any clue? And of course, every time these rule changes come through, it's just another wave of people getting, unfairly demonetized and swept off the platform. God knows who it's going to be next. It could be me. It could be another one of your favorite creators. At this time, if you're a fan of these criticism channels and whatnot, who even though I don't watch necessarily a bunch of these channels, I would never argue that they don't have the right to exist on this platform. It might be them, because YouTube apparently might consider them hate speech, even though it's not in the guidelines to criticize other creators, even though it's not in the guidelines to say that you don't like their content. YouTube might take action against them because that's just how this platform works. That's insane. I think anyone who thinks that that's not insane, do you even understand the problem in the first place? I mean, literally look at any rule change that YouTube has ever made and give me one example of one where it was just instantaneous and they weren't working on it for months and it was in response to a big media just an outrage over something stupid like this, and it worked out really great. I would love even just one example, because there hasn't been one. There hasn't been even one out of however many. We're getting to that point where YouTube is becoming exactly what it set out to destroy, and that's what I don't understand, because the mainstream media is dying. I mean, you can do all the research in the world. These mainstream publications are losing readers, they're losing followers, but at the same time, the amount of people going on the internet and searching up YouTubers is growing. The amount of people using YouTube is going up and up and up and up and up. These news channels and the people on YouTube who are covering these topics, we're all growing, we're all doing fine. The mainstream media is afraid of YouTube, and that's why they don't like YouTube. Let's keep it $1.50 here. I just don't understand YouTube's mentality behind it. They're still so afraid of the mainstream media, and YouTube basically killed cable television along with Netflix and the other slew of, on-demand internet television quote-unquote services and whatnot. But then when hits the fan and one small minor thing happens and nobody knows how to react. They're like, oh, well, I guess we have to become corporatized television at this point. Because, folks, that's the route that we're heading here on YouTube. No, but the thing is at least on TV, the guidelines that you play by are clearly defined. At least on TV, you know what you can say and cannot say. At least it's defined. At least there's somebody who can step in and say, hey, you can't say that. At least you can go beforehand and say, hey, is it okay if I say that? And they're like, no, you can't say that. They'll bleep that. YouTube has gotten to the point where if you bleep out the swear words that will demonetize you, they will demonetize you for bleeping out the swear words. What sense does that make? Can anyone explain it to me? I don't get it. Yes, I'm passionate about this. This is my job. This is my livelihood, okay? I love doing this. Everyone who does this loves doing this. This is an awesome job. And it's really frustrating when YouTube, a company that has everything going for it and has had everything going for it for the last few years, that has all the power in this situation, constantly keeps playing into the hands of the people that they're beating. This would be like in basketball if the Golden State Warriors were up 65 on, like, I don't know, the Phoenix Suns, and instead of just, running the clock out in the fourth, just stepped 3 steps up court and just handed the ball back and stepped off the court and let them shoot the shot. That's basically what YouTube is doing at this point. Because YouTube doesn't even know how to run their own platform. Whatever something happens, they just say, oh, okay, I guess we'll just kill another community off. We'll silence another community. We'll cut another entire section out. This time, now you can't criticize anybody else. You can't say anything else because then it's hate speech. You can't say anyone's doing anything bad. So the next time that J Station decides that he wants to take Etika after he killed himself and wants to make a 3 a.m. Ouija board challenge, an hour after he dies and wants to monetize the shit out of that, you can't say anything about that, most likely, because then it's going to be hate speech. And even though it's not technically against community guidelines to call him out for that, YouTube might take action against you and demonetize you. It's ridiculous. The people running YouTube are so out of touch, and even when they make one good decision, there's 5, 10, 15, 20 bad ones to fill in the place behind it. And it's upsetting, to say the least. And I've got news for YouTube. Okay, the moment that one of your competitors up there for Google, Amazon, anybody, finally decides and wakes up and they realize, hey, all these creators on YouTube need a platform like YouTube that isn't YouTube, and they decide to make something that's better than YouTube, this platform's gonna dry out in about 6 months. Because I'm telling you, man, it's getting bad. And YouTube is just getting to this point where they kill off every community. And I'm telling you, we have like once a month, a new community gets shot down by another hate speech rule or by a new terms of service. It's stupid. I can't imagine who's next, so we'll see. But yeah, it's all PG content from here on out, folks. Don't say anything bad about other people, about other creators. Don't cuss. If you do cuss, you can't bleep it out, because if you do bleep it out, that's going to get demonetized. You can't belong to certain political affiliations, because if you do, that's demonetizable. So it's insane, man. It really is. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter @SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Join the Discord down below. Lots of great things going on over there as well. Going on over there. And thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, apparently, harassing other creators, and signing out.